where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world. Good vibes, laughter and shout outs, show it to the world. Always follow the footsteps of our Lord. All roads that I shall walk on, sowing seeds of peace. This light that keeps us shining, will be bright and brighter. We'll be brighter and brighter. We'll be brighter and brighter.
Sing this song along with me. Just open up your hearts. Feel harmony and peace inside yourself. Life is a great school, teaching always to the good. Learning that in order to be happy, we need to help. Learning to accept that everyone deserves respect. Uniting all their hearts with a gesture of affection. Finding out where happiness will be spreading joy. There is no other way. Charity is the solution. Only one love, only one ideal. So love and peace in the world. Conquer us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear. And the world will be in peace. Sing this song along with me. Just open up your heart. Feel harmony and peace inside yourself. Life is a great school, teaching always to do good. Learn that in order to be happy, we need to help. Learn to accept that everyone deserves respect. Uniting all their hearts with a gesture of affection. Finding out where happiness will be spreading joy. There is no other way. Charity is the solution. Only one love, only one ideal. So love and peace in the world. Conquer us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear. And the world will be in peace. Only one love, only love ideal. So love and peace in the world. Conquer us. Feel the life within ourselves, and love will certainly appear. And the world will be in peace.
It's time to open up your heart. It's time to love one another. It's time to take part. Migrate always. Love everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dream become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Vibrate always, loving, serving everyone. Vibrate always, loving, sharing everyone. When we give our heart in charity, our lives are transforming into songs. Our dream become reality, and we join Jesus for eternity. Source of love that radiates more than a powerful night, more than comfort, more than comfort. As kids from down the mountain, calling the children of earth with love in their hearts, with love in their hearts. My soul never loses hope, because your love always leads me. The solution lies in our Lord. The solution lies in our Lord. For my mother's Ephraim, harvest a wonderful blessing. Make yours, oh son of Christian. Make yours, oh son of good Christians. Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa look-alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Oh, crystal eyes, colors of the sky, gray bush beard, Santa look-alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, or in pain. Beseja Jimenezes, Apostle of the good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Beseja Jimenezes, Apostle of the light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. We thank you everyone to join us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place to stay if possible during this time. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by questions and answers. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. I just want to apologize because we have a little delay in my connection. Okay, but we also invite you to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and Spiritist Group Path of Life. And I would like to invite you for this great and big event who is gonna happen on December 11th, and it's gonna be in a lot of languages: Portuguese, Spanish, Italian, French, and English. So we invite everyone to join in this event, and you can access www.concafresglobal.com. Okay, and now I invite you for our opening prayer. So let's close our eyes and let's connect with our mentors, our the good spirits, and be grateful for the opportunity to be here. Master Jesus, thank you so much for your protection, for your love, for your mercy. May everything, all the learnings tonight, we can observe and practice in our lives to be a better person every day. We ask your protection for our friend Veronica, who will be talk with us tonight. And we ask you one more time to stay with us all today and always. Thank you. So be it. The topic of today's meeting is the chapter 2. My kingdom is not from this world, is not of this world, items 5 to 7. And it will be facilitated by our friend and sister Veronica from Winnipeg. Our meeting is being transmitted through Facebook and YouTube, and everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address all the questions at the end of the talk. And now we invite our friend Veronica.
Hello, Marceli. Hello, everyone. I apologize, my transmission is a little bit slow, so hopefully we'll do the best. So I just gonna, here we go. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Thank you once more for joining us tonight in our study. And as Marcela told us, we are studying chapter 2 of the Gospel according to Spiritism, items 5 to 7. We are almost finishing this chapter. And if you haven't watched the previous studies, the previous parts of this chapter, we have all recorded on Facebook and YouTube. So you're welcome to go there and watch, right, if you miss anything. So today we are going to talk about this session that is entitled The Point of View. And Kardec brings to us a very interesting point about what is our point of view about our lives, about the things we live today. And this chapter starts by talking about what happened if we were going to consider an existence after this present life versus not considering that, the future life. So it is about the future life. And it starts by looking at one point of view where we would not be having a doubt, not having been so sure about future life. So, for if we are going to have doubts regarding our future life, this can have consequences to our present life, the life we are living here and now on earth. So most likely we will think that's the only time we have. And we basically will have to, everything we have is now, right? So all we have is now. So this can have serious consequences from the way how we live. So we may have too much of our thoughts towards our earthly life. So all the worries, everything that we have to do every day, all of this will be the major goal, the major purpose of everything we do. We may put material possessions above everything. Consider that our present comfort, material comfort, is what is really it is what really matters, since we don't have a future to think about after we die, right? And in this case, because we give so much importance to our present life, it also creates a situation where all the things that happen to us, good or bad, they are big. We make those things feel much bigger than they may be. So disappointments, unsatisfaction, ambitions that we cannot pursue or achieve, injustice, these may become huge torments that we create because we think these are the only thing we have. And we have to, all this discomfort creates a huge problem and sadness to us. Now, Kardec, so with this point of view from the earth life, if we just see our lives from where we are right now, this can place ourselves at the center of everything, and everything that's happening around us might be too big, right? Takes large proportions. So it's almost like we are so small, but everything around us is huge, right? Huge problems, huge difficulties, because the outcomes of the challenges we face may be negative, and this bad outcome is also big, right? So that creates us in a situation where it seems that we cannot have a place to find and to be rescued. So that's the earthly point of view. Now let's think in another way. How about if we have faith on on the future life, right? So having faith about the future life, a life after this one that we live in, the bodies we are living right now, this completely changes the point of view from which we consider our life on Earth. So let's think about if we do have a life after death, right? So what would that change? Well, one thing that would change is that corporeal life is no more than a passage. So we start to see the present life as a temporary state. So we might be living here on Earth, I don't know, for 80, 90 years, maybe 100 years, maybe we'll live less than that. But that's just a portion of our existence that is eternal. So that creates this period that we live on Earth very small if we considering the eternity. Also, vicissitudes and tribulations, so problems we face during this life, we start to see that these problems, they are only happening for a short period of time. So think about a child which really wants a toy, right? For parents who probably have dealt with that before. So, or for that day that they cannot watch 5 more minutes of TV. So, for the child, that could be the end of the world, right? 5 minutes in their life, they are losing time, right? So, what is that? That's a big problem. But it's the same for us, right? As us as child, in terms of learning experience, we might think our problems are also big. But if we look back in our present life, we will see that we had many situations like that child that wants a toy or wanted to watch 5 more minutes of TV, where we face a problem that was huge at the time. But then when we look back, sometimes we see and say, oh, I just overreacted. I didn't need to be that upset with that problem, right? Because the problem came and problem went away. So these tribulations, they start to be perceived as being smaller and more manageable. So if we have faith about the future life, another thing that also happens, we start to see death in another way. So death is not the end of everything. Death is no longer terrifying or a door to nothingness. So it's not that we are going to live, we are going to stop existing with the death of our physical body. By believing in having faith or in a future life, we just see the death as a step towards the next phase. And at the same time, afflictions of life are temporary and not a final situation, right? So, as we said before, so it is a case where we start to see things in a context that's much bigger, and the problems and everything we live becomes smaller. So, um, the clear view, the clear and precise idea about the future life provides an unshakable faith in the future. So Kardec advised that for us to actually have faith about the future life, we need to get a good understanding of what is this future life, because otherwise we'll be filled with uncertainty in the same way, right? So who knows? Because sometimes we were taught that future life might be eternal suffering, depending on how we lived our lives, or it could be heaven, or where we would be in peace and would be in joy, angels. And we are not quite sure about what this future life is going to look like. So, in the understanding, in this clear idea, it's very important for us to strengthen our faith in future life. So, should we then we have a future life, right? And should we then not care about our present life? So that's what some people might think, right? Well, okay, if you believe in a future life, that's your real life, why should we care about this one? Why should we try to improve ourselves? Or why should I care in learning something new if my real life is not here? This is just temporary, right? It's just like I'm living in a rental, so why am I going to fix my house if the house is not me, is not mine, right? I'm not the owner of the house. So is that the case then that we are not going to worry about our present life? So the answer is that clearly no, right? So no, it is not the case, right? It's not that we are not going to care about our present life. No, because we have an instinct for progress and self preservation. And these are divine laws. These are part of the eternal laws, permanent, immutable, imperfect laws that comes from God, that all of us try to improve our lives, right? Nobody lives in misery because they feel joy on it, about that, right? We all want to have a better life. And if we think not only about humans, all animals and living beings have this same instinct of preservation, right? We all want to survive and live in a good way. And so we instinctively look after our well-being, even knowing that our lives on earth are short. So we try to be healthy, we try to enjoy things we like, we try to learn new things. So this is part of our life, right? And the search for well-being forces us to improve everything. So divine providence is so perfect that because of this instinct of improvement, progress, and self-preservation, we make the whole world around us to improve. So think about all big discoveries, right? Not only big, but small discoveries as well, right? So once we had the advent of electricity, how many things we could do with electricity, right? We didn't have a refrigerator before, and now we have, so we can preserve food better, so we won't be we won't be starving or have to forage to seek for food. So this open up space in our lives to seek for other types of learning, right? So progress and seeking for well-being are huge engines to make us progress and evolve. So that's not a problem if we believe in future life. But also, there is a good thing. Relative, we if we have a faith in the future life, we start to have a relative importance to the present, right? So the present is important, but not the only thing in our existence, right? And that makes easier for us to accept our failures. So even when we make a mistake, now this mistake is not big, it's not so huge that is unbearable, right? It can be manageable. So if there are bad things that happen to us, if we lose a job, if sometimes we have a car accident and we lose our car, or we get mugged, or something happened that we lose, we start to feel that those things start to have a smaller proportion in our existence. And even if we believe in a future life, even the death of loved ones, we start to see in a different way, because we know that that loved one has a future, and perhaps we will meet them again, right? So that creates this relative importance to the things that happen to us today. So the point also that's important to note that God does not condemn earthly pleasures, but rather their abuse at the expense of matters of the soul. Right? So Kardec was very clear here. It's not that we cannot have comfort in this life, right? Or seek for a good way of living. What we should avoid is have material things as the only important thing in our lives, right? So having material things that we pursue or we want because of the simply the for having them, instead of cultivating things that are from the that comes from the spirit, our sentiments, our relationships, for example. So the next one we will see here, what's the link of this with spiritism? So remember that it was saying that before, that we need a clear vision about this future life. And that's why Spiritism is here for, right? Spiritism opens up our vision about life on earth. So we have a better understanding of our life today. And by showing us that this life is only one link in the harmonious and magnificent whole of the Creator's work. So our life here and now is just one piece of the puzzle that that is all the creation. So if we place ourselves in the entire creation, we start to see how small we are, right? And we start to change this perspective, this point of view that everything is around us and is all about us, but we are just part of a whole thing. So Spiritism demonstrates that everything is connected. So we are connected. All the existence of one being are connected. So we, as immortal spirits, we had many existences. We had previous lives, we have this present life, and we'll have many other experiences as incarnated spirits, because every incarnation we will progress a little bit more in the evolution path, right? So all our existences are connected, because everything we live today, the struggles we face, are most likely consequences of our choices that we had in the previous life or this present life. And all of the benefits and merit we receive today also are consequences of our previous experience. So all the existences of our existences are connected. All beings of the same world are connected. By understanding that we are not alone and that we have this existence that goes beyond the present life, we start to see that we are all connected, because today I might be here speaking to you but about spiritism, but in a previous life, perhaps I was listening to somebody that was trying to give me some enlightenment. And in the future, I will be learning from other spirits around me, right? So perhaps I will be here in Canada, in Winnipeg today, but in a previous existence, or even this present existence, sometimes we are in another place, right? So we are in that, from that movement, we interact with each other. So we are all beings connected in the same world. And even beyond that, all beings of all worlds are connected, right? So we know that God, by creating the universe, and God is still creating planets, creating life, creating new places, new inhabited worlds. We are all connected. And this migration of spirits from different worlds happen very often, because from that exchange, we can learn together and we can improve ourselves. So by looking at this connection, Spiritism provides a basis and a reason for universal fraternity. So when we start to see that everyone is connected, it doesn't make any sense to think that one are the boss and the other one are the subordinate. One is the slave and the other one is not. It doesn't matter our choice for religion, for political views. It doesn't matter the skin, the color of our skin, the place where we were born, because we are all part of the same humanity. So spiritism here gives us a key for us to reach universal fraternity. So Jesus came and told us in the beginning of the chapter, it starts by saying, my kingdom is not of this world, right? So because he was saying that all his everything that he was saying about finding happiness and peace, it was not going to happen here, but in the real world, which is the spiritual life. But Jesus doesn't told us much about the exactly about how this happens, right? How incarnation would happen, how the life after life happen. He doesn't mention much. He doesn't say about we reincarnate multiple times, right? In this world or different worlds. So he showed some. He gave us hope. He teach us how to get there, but he didn't explain with much details how that happened. Because at that time, people were only able to understand one part of the whole story, right? But then Jesus also said, I will pray to my Father, and he will send you another consoler that may remain with you forever. So Jesus is telling us, advising us more than 2,000 years ago, that there will be a consoler, someone maybe that will bring us new knowledge, consolation for our suffering. And he continues, but the consoler, who is the Holy Spirit, whom my Father will send in my name, will teach you all the things, and will enable you to remember everything that I said to you. So this consoler, many people believe that to be impersonated in an individual, right? Somebody that will be walking around us, bring this truth, bring this consolation, right? But what we learn from the spirits, and as Kardec collect, right, the information from the spirits, and we continue to receive other messages from the spirits even after Kardec, what the spirits tell us that is this truth is not materialized in one single individual, but is the knowledge, right? Is the knowledge about the spiritual world that comes from different spirits through this connection that we have with the spiritual world. So the truth, the consoler, is Spiritism, which is the knowledge we gain from the spirits about our real life as spirits. So that is the consoler, right? Because the consoler teaches that this life is just a piece of our existence. All the suffering is happening, but it's going to come and it's going to go away. And we have our entire existence to move on, to fix the mistakes we made, to improve ourselves, and to repair any wrongdoings we did to others as well. So that's the consoler, right? The consoler that we have eternity to live, improve, and love one another. And the last part here, which is interesting, Jesus said that all these things we'll learn all the things, and we will remember everything that Jesus said. So all this knowledge about the spiritual world doesn't cancel, it doesn't go against in one single bit about the teachings of Jesus. They just complement, clarify things that Jesus maybe at that time he was not able to reveal to us because we were still child, right? We were still that young child that was wants the 5 minutes of TV, extra of TV, right? But couldn't understand why that you couldn't have, right? That they couldn't have at that time. So that's the important piece. So all this knowledge complements what Jesus teachings, all Jesus teachings that summarizing two things, right? Love God above all, and your neighbor as yourself, right? And all the teachings that we learn from the spirits go towards this universal law. So if we look then at the point of view of the future life, we have here an extract from the book No Solar by the Spirit André Luiz, right? Right in the introduction, the right first few pages in the book, where he talks about life, right? So if we have this point of view from the future life, right? We place ourselves, imagine ourselves in the future life, not in this present life. Then we start to see one life as one act, one body as one garment. Is a garment that we use today, and then with death we leave this garment away, we move on, and then next to life, we are going to get a new a new outfit, right? A new garment. 1 century is 1 day into eternity. So even if we live 100 years now, how much is 100 years beyond eternity, in front of eternity, right? So it's 1 day, one task, one thing you do today is one experience. Imagine how many experiences, how many tasks we are in charge to do during our eternal existence. One triumph, one victory, one acquisition. So we win a game today. What is a game in our eternity, right? One victory, one death, one breath of renewal. So death here is seen as a renewal where we leave this behind, this physical body, in freedom, and we free our spirit to a new experience, a new existence, a new page in our life. So the gospel today invite us to think, what is our point of view about our present life? Do we want to have a point of view of from the present life, where we just have the now and the right now? Or are we going to have a point of view that goes a little bit beyond that? We go a little bit outside, we look from outside our existence, our present life. And I invite everyone to have this reflection of what is the point of view you are taking lately, right? Maybe because we are experiencing many changes in the world, right? With pandemic, with changes, people with different point of views compared to ours, sometimes shocking revelations, right? That we get surprised. So what is the point of view we want to take? Because if we have a more open view of the problems we face, we can see that they can be much smaller than they actually are, and we can manage them better. Okay, so that's all I had for today. I thank everyone for your attention, and we are going to be open for questions and comments. And I really thank you for you to be here. Okay, hang on.
Sorry.
You're muted. Now I can hear you. Now you're
Oh,
good. You're good.
so sorry.
No,
Thank you so much for your presentation. It was a great moment, and it's always good to know about more spiritism, about future life, about what Jesus said. And thank you. So let's see if we have some questions in the chat. No, but I do have a few questions here for you. So do you think sometimes people behave like spiritual children?
I don't think. I'm certain I am. A very childish spirit, probably, right? I think we all have ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
But I think we also have to be compassionate about ourselves, have empathy for ourselves, right? Also, because we do, right? We do make many mistakes, and sometimes we get upset or angry for things that after like a few days we see that we overreacted. How many times we overreacted
Yes.
for things, right? But at the same time, if we look back, let's look us back, not yesterday, but maybe 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago, right? Some young people, they cannot remember probably 15 years ago. But if we look like 10 years, 15 years ago, how many mistakes we used to do that we don't do anymore,
Yeah.
right? So we are childs, right? We are children.
Yeah.
right?
But
But
because you said the law is the progress, right? So we always are in progress. Yes.
exactly, yeah, and we can see that happening,
Yeah.
right? Mhm.
I have a few notes here. I was my paper is it's
Sure.
when when you were talking, I was write something here because I really liked the slide that you put the questions. Should we then not care about ourselves just because we believe in the future life? I really like this question you put here, and I think it's good to reflect about this topic. Uh, because you said a lot about our things, and one that I really was thinking about is about the progress law. Yeah, and because you said it's not a problem to enjoy the life, to have things, to work, to buy things, but the point is not live just for that, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we have to think in a 24-hour day, right? How
Mm-hmm.
much time we actually spend on uh, on things that may end with our present life,
Yes.
and how much time we spend on things that we can take with us, because we cannot take a car with us.
Mm-hmm.
We won't be able to take like our cell phones. We won't be taking money. We won't be taking our retirement, right? We won't be taking anything material, but we can for sure take the good memories with people that we love, right? That we love. We can take that with us.
Mm-hmm.
We can take that with us. The the this the what I was gonna say. We can take with us the feeling of work well done, that we did all we could to be a better person, to leave the world a little bit better than it was before us,
Yeah.
right? So that to make us have a conscience that is light and make us live better in the spiritual world, right? So
We only take what we are, right?
yes, yeah,
So
we can.
it's so important to try to be a better person.
Yes, yes, for sure. Yeah.
And we have a little bit more questions here. What are the consequences of not believing in a future life? What do you think about?
Well, if you don't believe in future life, you might be doing well. Some people may just live this life all they can, regard without even think about others, right? Although many people don't believe in future life, and still they are very good people. They
Mhm.
do good things to everybody here because they feel um, this responsibility to leave the world in a better place.
Mhm.
And that's in terms is part of our instincts, right? Of self improvement and progress that it's built in, right? It's a built-in feature that we incarnate independent if whether or not we believe in future life, because God created us in a way that we have all the features we have, right? Those things are not optional. We all have these features. We just have to develop and empower them. So, but don't believe in future life can create a sense of desperation, right? Of sadness and depression. Because think about it, there's no future life, and you and somebody you love die, right? A child, maybe a partner,
Mhm.
parents. So what happened then? So it's over. So it can create a sense of emptiness that cannot be filled back, right? So having faith in a future life creates a whole different way we see tragedies in our life,
Mhm.
right?
It's so sad to think that when we die, everything is gone and that's it.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So, but it's better to be prepared, right? It's better we get prepared for the future life, because what if we don't believe in future life and then we die and suddenly, oh, we have a future life and we are not ready.
We realize that
Now
no,
what?
I was
Yeah,
wrong.
exactly. So even though, so even though you, even though we don't want to take the advice from the spirit, it is a good practice that we do get prepared somehow, right?
Yeah.
And we start to consider those things.
Mhm. Yeah, and to finish, we have one more question here. Change our point of view facing our happiness and suffering will make us more reasonable people.
Oh yeah, we can be more reasonable, right? For the both sides. So one, for the bad things, right? The bad things that happen to us,
Mhm.
we start to scale them a little bit back so the problems don't get so big. And we have this conscious, we are conscious that all the problems we face, even being large, huge, they are gonna end. There is a date for them to end, right? We have to face them. And for sure it depends on how we manage that, but we know for sure that that's going to end. There is an end for that. So poverty, misery, right? If we have we live in very bad conditions, we have bad relationships, this is a path that we have to go through, but that has a time to end. On the other side, right, good things, to become more reasonable, yes, because we start to accept the good things to happen to us as a blessing, right? As like some peace that we get in this existence. But we know that those things also will go away, right? They are temporary. Good
Yeah.
and bad things are temporary. So we also need to be prepared and then seek for the next step, right? We have to look for the next step. So we become more reasonable, reasonable with ourselves and reasonable to others as well, right?
Mhm. And you have a compliment from Larissa. She said, great talk. This is the kind of knowledge that we need to remind ourselves every day.
Yes, we do. We do need, right?
Mhm.
And probably the people here on this side that are talking are the ones that need to remember the most, right?
Yeah.
We all do, for sure. Thanks, Larissa. Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Veronica. Thank you
Thank
for all
you.
your participation in the chat.
Thank you.
Bye. And now we are gonna move for a preparation for our tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting our physical, emotional, and mental balance. And the benefit from the spiritual treatment, uh, to benefit from the spiritual treatment, please follow the guide, audio instructions, or remain in prayer. And you may close your eyes to help it with mentalization. And don't forget your water, that the water you set aside is going to be magnetized. Okay, and now we are going to do our prayer for the spiritual treatment. And let's close your eyes once again. And thank you, Lord, for this great talk today, for the opportunity to learn a little bit more Spiritism about the future life. May everyone can start now to be a better person, to ensure that our future life is going to be better than today. And may everyone can be benefit with the good energy from this pass, and may we finish the spiritual treatment better than we started. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by, without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain, let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The Pass begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil, washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the pass. Thank you, God.
Before I make the closing prayer, I would like to thank everyone for joining us tonight. And don't forget, we will be here next Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. East. And don't forget about our Christmas event on December 11th. Okay? Now we are going to do our closing prayer. Thank you, Master Jesus, for everything you have done for us. Thank you for the spiritual treatment that we all received now. May we have a good night, a good sleep. Please bless our week, bless ourselves, our family, our friends, everyone in this planet. And we ask your protection, your love, your mercy in our lives, and please stay with us today and always. So be it. Have a good night.
Say me name wherever you are.